This episode of Dr. Drew After Dark is brought to you by Social CBD, and I know you've all heard lots of anecdotes about CBDs being beneficial for pain and sleep and anxiety. Clinical science isn't there yet, but where you buy your CBD is important, and I've connected with an Oregon-based company that's all about high-quality ingredients, manufacturing standards, not hype. Previously called Select CBD, they've relaunched their brand as Social CBD. They focus on broad-spectrum oil. It's something you probably heard about also, but it's equally confusing. Start with this. Hemp has over 60 non-psychoactive cannabinoids, and CBD is just one of them. Broad-spectrum oil goes beyond CBD isolate and contains additional active compounds that work together to create what is known as the entourage effect. It can more effectively deliver the calming or relaxing effects that many people are looking for. Social CBD's broad-spectrum oils contain zero THC, so there's none of that risk, and they're available as great-tasting tinctures in great flavors: vanilla mint, pomegranate tea, Meyer lemon. Simply drop it under your tongue for maximum effect. Social CBD products are available in a range of formulations, each of which is clearly described so you can make an informed decision without all the promises and hype that sound too good to be true. To learn more, go to drdrew.com/socialcbd. Again, that is my website, drdrew.com/socialcbd. For a limited time, you can save 20% at checkout with the code DRDREW, DRDREW. That's one word. Again, it is drdrew.com/socialcbd. 20% off at checkout with Dr. Drew. And now let's start the show. Hi, I'm Dr. Drew, and this is Dr. Drew After Dark. Please be advised that Dr. Drew After Dark may contain sexually oriented content and be unsuitable for young children. Hey everybody, welcome to Dr. Drew After Dark. Keep those calls coming at 818-253-1693, and also the emails at drdrewafterdark@gmail.com. And get the merch at merchmethod.com/Tom Segura, because, you know, Tom Segura is the mastermind behind this. Like our friend Kreischer said, what's wrong with him? The stuff he puts on these t-shirts is like, what's wrong with him? But so you guys like it, evidently. Today, welcoming Matt Braunger to the show. Matt, welcome.
Thank you.
Where can people find you?
You can find me at mattbraunger.com for all my tour stuff, at Braunger on Twitter, and at Matt Braunger on Facebook, and at Braunger.
Spelled Braunger.
G-E-R, yeah, exactly.
Mad TV, is that what you guys were on?
That's what I was
Yes?
in Loveline. I was remind you, me and Arden Marine back in 2008. So the last
Wow.
cast before it got canceled. And
Yes.
that was a fun thing to drive out to because that was kind of like the first big show I was on. Mm-hmm. So it was fun to be just like, hey, and I'm on Loveline. Look at this. This is very cool. And I remember I was hard pitching an idea because it was my first time I'd seen you up close. And I was like, yeah, Dr. Drew's a good looking guy, but I didn't realize he was in such good shape, you know, where I was just like, oh yeah. And I was pitching you being on the show with no shirt on and jeans. And like just hanging out and helping people, but like constantly, like you're just too oiled.
It's interesting.
And I remember
that.
I had that memory because I remember just pitching that, and you were like, okay, you're laughing. But it's like no one's gonna be like. It'd be weird if you're like, I love that.
I can't wait.
I'll do that.
Let's
sketch.
get going.
That sounds fantastic. That sounds like me at home.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
Mad TV was filmed over at Hollywood Center Studios.
Yeah, correct.
And we used to film Loveline with Corolla in the season 1.
Oh, wow.
Well, when you guys were season 1, we were like season 2 of Loveline, something like that. It was the 90s. And
we moved from Hollywood Center Studios to when it was. I'm sorry, like I was a PA on Hollywood Center Studios, so it was like my wires are crossed. But anyway, like long story long, where the studio was and the parking lot is now the tower of Netflix. Like Netflix, that building.
The old Tribune, that old Tribune stuff.
Yeah,
over by KTLA and all that business.
Yeah.
And so in those days, I mean, it was Will Sasso and Nicole Sullivan and all those guys. I think Bobby Lee was on it even then, maybe.
Yeah, he was on with me. He was on a long time.
And from Family Guy, Alex Borstein.
Yep.
And they would come. The cast would come on our set and be a guest every year at the end, towards the end of their season. And from season 1 on, they would start and they go, we've been canceled.
Yeah.
We've been canceled. That's it. This thing is not going on. Yeah. And I'll never forget, I think it was season 2 or 3 of theirs. We were like season 4 or 5. They're like, look, I know we say this every year, but it's done. It's over. It's absolutely over.
Yeah.
And fast forward 10 years, you guys are still doing it. Crazy. It was a great show, by the way.
Thanks. I mean, look, I had a blast. I mean, I was literally on for half a season and then they canceled it.
Mo Collins.
So I was love Mo. And the thing is, I got to know all of them because they would still come back for some sketches and stuff.
Well, what makes me sad is they were all brilliant sketch comics and they're not really doing that much sketch that you can easily get your hands on.
Yeah. It was one of those things. It had immediate accessibility, and also it had, I mean, I saw, being a cast member and a fly on the wall, I saw so many sketches that never made it to tape that I was just like, that's brilliant. Ones I still think about, because we had, all these amazing writers, like Katie Dippold, who was like my favorite writer to work with back then. She wrote, The Heat and the Ghostbusters remake and stuff.
Wow.
And so, she's working with Paul Feig all the time now, and I think she might have wrote Spy with him too. So it's like you had this hive mind of incredible comedy, but it became
and it really was better than most of SNL in the last couple of years. Right?
I mean, I wouldn't argue with that.
Yeah.
And I think it's great now though that sketch is kind of coming back, where it's going to
Where
new.
can
There's
we see it?
Netflix is putting out some new sketch shows.
Are they?
Yeah. I think You Should Leave is like one of the funniest things out there. I think so. You kind of got to dig.
Is that on Netflix?
That's on Netflix, and there's the Black Lady sketch show, which is on HBO.
Well, that I've been starting to watch. The first episode, I was like, I'm not fully in, but I've heard it's good, so I'm gonna keep watching.
Yeah. See, I haven't.
And it's not really sketch though. It feels more scripted. Is that true?
But that's sketch. Sketch is scripted.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, unless you're talking about it.
Well, it feels like you guys did a lot of spontaneous stuff.
There was a lot, and where we'd like feed off the audience, and you'd just throw out a line you just made up in your dumb head, and they were like, "Oh, let's keep it, leave it."
Right. That's what it felt like anyway.
Right, sure.
All right, so tell me about you. Where'd you grow up?
Grew up in Portland, Oregon, and let's see, basically, didn't really play sports. Was always a performer. Like I was cast in a play in 5th grade called The Villain in the Toy Shop. I was the villain. And then I remember that was kind of what made me just like, I got a laugh at one point doing something silly.
Was that more comedic acting you wanted to do?
It was just like a weird play for kids, I think. I mean, I had the top hat and a mustache and the cape. Like I was the villain. I was the guy that would tie a woman to the train tracks for sure. And I got a laugh doing that, and I it was like a horrible biography would say. And then he was hooked. That was really.
So what do you think that did for you?
I was already an only child, so I'm effed right there anyway. In a way,
in trouble.
In terms of I feed off attention. I need attention. I also was the child of 2 parents who were from larger families. My dad had 6 brothers and 3 sisters. My mom had a brother and a sister. I guess that's not that large, but they made it a point to only have 1 kid, and they were very progressive. So they were very, very like, I want to say, helpful is the first word that comes to it. They were fantastic parents, and they are. Yeah. But it was just like you.
Were they intrusive?
No, not really. Just very, very loving and caring and very supportive of everything. And sometimes I wonder if they were too supportive.
So sort of like my generation made that mistake, right?
Okay.
And your parents are probably older than me, though, right?
Yeah. Well, they're 70.
Yeah, a little older.
Yeah.
So they're probably part of the same parenting generation that I was in. And we were watching Mindhunter the other day. You watched that series?
Yeah, I love it. I read the book when I was in my 20s.
And my wife and I were like, oh, that's right. When we were growing up, that's all we heard every day. Kids are kidnapped. Kids are getting killed.
Right.
And we were walking to school in terror every day. And our parents were like, yeah, go ride your bike to school. And we were like, all you'd hear about all day long is the Hillside Strangler and the Manson murders, and the press was just all day pumping this shit out.
Yeah.
And it affected us, I think, as parents. Like, well, when we're parents, we're gonna watch our kids. They're gonna get abducted. So I think that was in the back of our heads, and we also felt a little neglected.
Okay.
Right. But this is my generation.
Right. Sure.
And so we're certainly not going to do that. We're going to get on top of our kids, and we're going to educate them. We're going to be
absolutely.
And what we ended up doing was not letting you experience the world or fail because we were too busy being on top. You were helicoptering and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And that was a failure of ours. That was a mistake.
Well, in my case, I think it was a thing of just if that's, thank God it wasn't something like where I had a new dream every week.
Right.
I'd be fucked if that was the case.
Because you'd be on it, just do
I'm
it.
going to be the best sword fighter in the
Yeah,
world.
it could have happened.
Yeah, but I remember the funniest version of that to me, because they supported me in everything.
Yeah.
I always just wanted to be a performer, so here we are. But I remember like starting to you have friends that are doing sports, you start working out with them and stuff, and my dad was like, well, if you're gonna be a bodybuilder, now's the age to start. Like, bodybuilder, what? It was such a random thing, but that's why I love him, because he would just be like, go get him, whatever it is.
Well, I imagine that at a certain point it makes you feel a little, I don't know what the right word is, diminished. Because it's like, well, I can't be a bodybuilder.
No.
Why do you think I can do that? It's like it's not genuinely you.
No.
And so it's sort of missing who you are a little bit.
I don't have that. Someone was talking about how every, I think it was Dak Shepard saying how there's a trainer that he's worked with that everybody who hires this guy on, he's like, 1,000 an hour or something insane.
Oh.
Is like, it's probably not that, but he's like, what body do you want? And the person's like, and he's like, don't even tell me. I know what it is. I know what your celebrity body is. Like, what? Brad Pitt in Fight Club. And every guy's like, how did he's like, because that's what everyone, but you can't have that body because you're not Brad Pitt. Like, you don't have that bone structure. So like, I've always had like rounded shoulders, and I'm built like kind of a lava lamp. Like I'm knock-kneed. So like, you're not going to have a bodybuilder with a weak chin and somehow he's just worked against.
Well, you can, but you got to take shit tons of steroids.
Yeah,
we can do that with anybody given enough pharmacology.
That's true. But my mother's dad was a huge lawyer in Chicago, and his law partner was actually Henry Hyde of the Hyde Amendment.
Wow, which is what? I don't know what that is.
Basically, one of the chief restrictions against abortion rights.
Oh.
So my mother declared herself a Democrat at like age 10.
Oh, interesting.
It's a phase. Nope. My mom's been working, as a lefty for the longest, and that's what I am now.
So rebelling against your grandfather.
For sure. But like my dad, so I think my grandfather he saw her as lesser because she was a woman and or a female. And my dad, his grandfather or his dad, I'm certain never told any of his kids he loved them. I don't think. My dad wrote a little thing once about his childhood about like how they all woke up when they heard their dad's Zippo lighter go, dad's awake. Like they'd hear that. He smoked it when he lit his first cigarette in the morning.
Yeah.
So I think it was just that perfect storm of them never missing an opportunity to tell me I was great or I was loved.
This is what they wanted when they were kids.
Which is fantastic, but it also, you add that to only childness.
Whenever it's excessive, whenever anything is excessive in parenting, it's not optimal.
Sure.
And not bad. There's nothing bad about it, but it's not optimal because whenever you're compensating for your parents, it's still a compensation. You're still going excessively.
I wish I could say something as easy as it was excessive. I don't think it was. It didn't feel excessive, but I would compare it to someone who already has a familial history of heart disease that loves cheeseburgers. You know what I mean? Or alcoholism, having their first beer at a high school party and being like, this is the feeling I've been looking for. That kind of thing, where with me, I already loved attention. Like I would run in the kitchen and my mom, I'd be like, speaking of which, and I didn't hear anything anyone had said, just to kind of insert myself into the conversation.
How'd that go in high school?
Well, this is when I was like 4.
I know. I'm just saying, if you still adopted that same policy 8 years later.
Oh no, I wasn't as bad as that person that when people are laughing, walks up laughing. That was a good one. Whatever you said, but it is that feeling of in later years, I've realized, it kind of translated to big bouts of FOMO, like fear of missing out, where it's kind of like, now I feel I'm free of it. I'm happily married and things. But it was a thing where, there's someone had a party and they didn't invite me or that kind of stuff.
Sure.
Where it's just like, you're better off not there.
Yes.
There's no magical place you're supposed to be right now.
Right.
Is
Interesting.
my point,
And relationships were always good with you, or did they have trouble with relationships?
No, troubled. I was a boyfriend all through the most of my 20s, and then most of my 30s, just serial non-dater. Just why do we have to define this? Let's just be cool. I was
hang
that guy.
out.
Yeah. I was like, that's that. Yeah, exactly. That was me. Or I would sleep with someone and then like never call them. And it's not that I'm proud of. And
right. You don't feel bad now when you start thinking about it. I'm sure I know the way men were sort of encouraged along for many, many years. You were just, hey man, whatever, it's just easy, no big
Sure.
deal. They don't care, you don't care. You end up hurting people with that stuff.
Yeah, you do, because we tend to, as if I may be crude for a moment,
Yeah.
as the ones when it's a male-female situation, we are beyond putting ourselves into someone else's body, and so for us it doesn't feel personal, but I can't imagine there's anything more personal than someone being inside of you.
A very different biology is triggered.
Yes, and so it's this thing of it's of course very easy for us to be the ones who are just like, whoa, I didn't promise you anything. I didn't say. It's like, yeah, but we've been hanging out every weekend for 3 months.
I don't know where you got the idea.
Right, what do you think? Yeah.
It's a relationship.
Yeah, so there was a lot of that. I remember my wife is my ex-manager, and we would occasionally hook up here and there, and we're like, wait, what are we doing? And I wasn't honest with myself about my feelings with her and things like that, and she was aware of this, and we broke up a few times. And
well, it does sound like, I mean, the one thing that makes you sort of push away stuff is if you did feel a little bit intruded on growing up by the parents were a little too.
Oh, that's interesting.
It's just an emotional sort of valence. It's like they were a little too into you. Like literally the boundaries weren't that clear.
Maybe.
So, like if you were miserable, would they be miserable? Would they have to make you be better?
No,
Or you were never miserable?
No, I was sure. It was childhood after all, of course, for sure. There was. I was very emotional as a kid. I was very much like overly serious about certain things, and just like how every kid is, they have the world figured out, kind of thing. But I was also I think too nostalgic for a kid.
Nostalgic to your past?
Yes. And like I'd be
longing for it,
longing for like younger days when I was kind of it just and
so
the kind of like things were better then.
Yeah.
Oh boy, I blew that chance. I wasted that because I was very.
You spoiled it.
I felt like I did, or I think you can't. I don't think you should be that sentient as a kid. Where you're just kind of aware of. You're always overthinking things.
Did you have like an exceptional memory too? Like you remember everything in your early childhood?
I think much better than now. That's for sure.
Because there's something goes along with that longing is sort of a rehearsal too. You're rehearsing memories and things, and then they become more attractive and distorted and idealized.
Yeah.
And so longing. Some people talk about certain personality states as longing for the end of longing.
Yeah.
I had a big dose of that too. I can relate to that. Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of just looked at it as like they're like, you don't want things to change. Well, you want things to be just like they were at this one time.
Idealized.
And it probably wasn't. Yes, idealized. It wasn't even that good back then.
And I can see how that kind of a fantasy connection would lend itself to a connection with an audience.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of what an audience relationship is.
Oh, absolutely.
It's sort of an idealized, intense.
Yeah, it's just like
it's frozen in the moment.
Exactly.
Kind of.
And that's the great thing about doing stand-up is that it'll never be like this again. But that's a good thing.
Once
it's over, we'll all go home. We'll have stuff to talk about. It'll be fun. But anything can happen in the moment. That's why comedy specials are never as good as actually being there.
Right.
And they're great. They're better than they've ever been. They're incredibly produced.
Also, the relationship amongst the audience members and then the audience with the performers is something uniquely human. There's something really powerful about that.
It's a physical connection. As well as emotional.
By physical, bodily based. I agree with you. Yeah,
absolutely.
It's not just our brains and our ears and we're not just our brains interacting. We're interacting as beings. Their bodies. And so when did stand-up enter into the picture?
That was when I moved to Chicago, fresh out of college. And
were you out of college? Were you? I'm going to be a stand-up, or I'm going to be an actor.
I was an actor. Yeah,
I
just wanted to be an actor. Yeah. I always loved comedy. I was always pretty funny, but I just never.
Did you care what kind of acting? Stage acting?
I kind of wanted to do it all.
Yeah.
And that was a huge theme of my young life, kind of direction with misdirection. I just want to be an actor. And if someone said that to me, I was like, yeah, that.
All that.
Like, I just said two things.
Yeah.
But I got it. I half-heartedly tried to break into stage acting in Chicago, which is why I went there, and didn't really get in, but it didn't really pursue it too ardently either. I was kind of just having fun and hanging out with people I waited tables with, and then some of them were doing improv, so I started doing improv, and then I just dropped in at an open mic and with some stuff I had written and did really well, and which is the worst thing that can happen to you first time you just
you're hooked.
Then, well, you're hooked.
You think it's always going to be like
and you think
this.
it's easy.
Yeah.
Then I bombed for weeks, you know.
Yeah.
But then it started getting better, and I was in with a pretty great crew of people that really didn't have. I feel sorry for people that start out now and or in places like New York or LA, because this era we're in, there's a lot of focus on stand-up comedy, whereas I don't know if it's that warranted. I think people will find it anyway, and we're always kind of discussing it and things. And, you know, I think that's more good than bad, but it's hard if you're starting out because it's hard to get noticed. Like when I was starting out, I didn't even think about getting noticed. If there's a festival come to town, I would try to get into that. And if I got into that, it was like, wow. Like it felt like I won an Oscar to just get into a festival. It's like, oh my gosh. Someone else is saying I'm stand-up other than me. And so it was this great time where the pinnacle of all of our weeks was going to this open mic called the Lion's Den that was on Monday nights. And we would all sign up, and they'd put up 30 or 40 comedians, and there'd be amazing people and people that were terrible and people that were doing weird things. But it was just like, it was a happening. Yeah. You know? So it's like, I was lucky that way.
And is Zany's that? Or a lot of it's
Zany's was there, but it was the only comedy club within our area of the city limits.
Town.
Unless you were, in Old Town. Yeah. Unless you were going to go all the way to the south side.
Well, the Second City is right there, right?
Yeah, it is, but they don't do stand-up.
Right.
So you had Zany's, but it was just, you know, Zany's is like 100 seats. It's tiny, and that's why I've played Zany's plenty of times since headline, but. You do it a lot of times a week, but back in those days, you know, they didn't want to let any of us do guest spots with the exception of like one or two of them. And, you know, when you're like, you know, young, dumb, you know, idiot, you're kind of like, well, they said no once. I'm not going to ask again, you know?
Would any of the people that you were waiting tables with or doing stand-up with, names we would know?
Oh, it's the people I started out with. It's a murderer's row. It's Kyle Kinane, Hannibal Buress, Pete Holmes, Camille Nanjiani. TJ Miller came later.
These are all the stand-up guys.
These are stand-up guys. John Roy, I don't know if you know him. Nate Craig, Emily DeRizis. They're all the people that are like, at the very least, still making a living at it and doing
many of them
well.
acting
and many
as well
of them,
now.
Yeah, I mean, Kumail's just going to be in the new Marvel Universe movie. Pete's killing it. Yeah, absolutely. So, but it was this
Burgess,
and there's people who like.
Buress, rather.
Buress,
Buress.
Buress is like he's uber famous. He's like a space alien. Like he can show up anywhere and be like, I'm doing a show tonight, and it'll sell out.
Wow.
Like, he's just got that.
Well, the Cosby thing pushed him up.
That's what definitely pushed him up.
That was a weird kismet.
Oh, I know. Yeah,
but he just pushed the button at the right moment.
Yeah, and didn't even mean to. Someone was just filming it, and they put it up.
I know.
What a crazy thing. That's the other thing about comedy that not necessarily scares me. I don't really do anything that's all that risque, but you know, you think like, oh, you're just having a weird night and you just say something crazy and someone films it and puts it up out of context, you know? And it's again, I'm not afraid for me, but you know,
people are waiting to attack. They're just waiting to jump and be outraged.
Well, when you mentioned the amount of serial killer coverage in your childhood, I mean, it's that same thing. It's just clickbait. That was clickbait then. Clickbait now is anything.
It's true, but
at
least
the competition is worse.
Right. It's more diffuse. This was like 3 channels doing the same thing, pumping it out at the kids. And then no concern for how children were being traumatized by what they were.
Yeah, exactly.
What they were presenting. Mm-hmm. All right, let's get to a couple of videos here, shall we?
Let's just do it.
Yeah, let's see what we got.
All right. Here we go. This first guy. Now, Matt, I don't know if you have any issues with road rage or know anything about that.
I do have something of an anger problem.
Oh, seriously? I would not have predicted that.
It's just if it's a short fuse if I'm to a certain point where
like wait, is it a long fuse but when it goes it blows?
It's hard. I could see that. I've overreacted for sure.
That makes sense.
I've definitely overreacted.
Yeah.
The running gag with my wife and I, now it's a running gag, was like after we broke up and got back together, I'm like, the biggest trick you pulled is convincing me I had the anger problem because she has like a long simmer that's just grows cold, you know, like Moriarty, like hood up, you'll never hear my name again. I'm kind of just like, you know, I just snap.
Got it. Do you not like anger? Are you afraid of anger?
No, I think honestly, it kind of feels good.
Okay.
But I feel that's why you shouldn't be quick to anger because it is just a satisfying thing to throw a tantrum.
Fair enough.
So, okay. So this guy is...
That was a really good preamble to this.
Okay, good. Okay, good.
So yeah, just tell me if you could relate to this guy or if you think he's overreacting.
Okay.
Great.
Huh? Come on. Fuck.
We don't see him. We don't see him.
Huh? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Huh? Put it on tape? Surfer against a queer? Huh? Is that what you're gonna do? Tough guy.
What's going on here?
Whoa.
What happened outside of El Cholo?
Vehicle code
Big shot.
21760. 21760. 3
I'd
feet.
smack you so fucking good. If there wasn't any witnesses, you know what I'd do to you? I'd pull Trump on you.
What's your name?
Huh? My name is your worst enemy, motherfucker. My name is your worst enemy. You want to... I'm your huckleberry, buddy. I'm your fucking huckleberry. You short little fucking punk.
What happened here? What are we looking at?
I think what happened was that he is either a bicyclist. I think he's a bicyclist.
Yeah, he's a bicyclist.
He's got a
And
little
he
mirror
cut-
on. He's got a
it cut
mirror
him
on the
off.
side of his glasses, or are those Google glasses or something?
Yeah, this is from a while ago.
Okay.
But I think this bicyclist cut him off in traffic, and this guy's just having none of it.
Wow.
I like the way they're outside of El Cholo.
Yeah. It's like, I know exactly where that is.
Right.
Because you were way over in our lane.
No, that's my lane.
No, it's not your
Cheryl.
lane.
It's
not your
Cheryl. Look
lane.
at the law. Look
I'll
at
be
the law.
watching you. You're lucky today,
Look at the
buddy.
law. I
You're
am.
lucky today.
What's your name?
Huh? My name is your worst enemy. You fucking
told you
short little
already.
Fucking faggot.
Oh, boy.
Oh, that's nice.
Wow.
This dude's all class.
He is.
I like to look at the hair there. He's taking a page from the president. It looks like.
So Matt, have you ever gotten to that level with a stranger?
No, I've come very close to like those times where you chase someone,
Ooh.
drive after them when they cut you
Dude.
off. Oh no, you just think about it. You're like, I'm gonna do it, and then and two, jump out, like abandon your car.
You have jumped out of the car?
No. But
Okay.
like I've had that inclination where someone.
Well, I think everyone has that impulse.
Yeah,
But then,
I mean, I had a kid cut me off once and flip me off. Like he cut me off.
Yeah.
Where it was like a double fuck you.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
It cut me off was enough of a fuck you, and then it was this. But
When they
I would
get
never do this because anytime you have the thing that I always think about in terms of fighting, physically fighting, as a man, is it doesn't end until a cop comes, once
somebody's
away.
hurt badly.
It's bad. It's
Yeah.
bad. We don't have, not that I'm pro kids fighting. I'll just say that. But when you're a kid, it's like you're little and you can't hurt each other that much and it's going to get broken up pretty fast.
Right.
You know what I mean? There are
Right.
teachers around. I'm not saying meet me in an alley. I'm saying,
Yeah.
and we used to have these I remember we had this little hill we'd go settle disputes on and we'd like go and fight, and if you fell down the hill, it was
doesn't
over.
sound very
But, like,
Portlandia.
it's funny. I never thought about that because no one else had a hill like that. They would just punch each other in the hallway or something. But when it comes to stuff like this, I always think, if I get into it with this guy, where does this end? And what
where does
kind
it
of
end?
injuries will happen.
A lot these days, a lot of people that piss us off are
Yeah.
people that are like on meth or something.
Absolutely.
You really don't know what's.
You don't know.
So move on. I'm
Yeah.
trying to get from one place to another.
Yeah, it's oh gosh, and the guy, you're lucky that camera's on.
Is that the end of this?
We have a little bit more.
Give me a little more.
Come on.
I'm just looking at
Come
you.
on.
I'm not coming after you.
No,
I'm
you're not,
gonna
because
touch you.
because you're afraid, aren't you? You're a pussy. That's why. Think you're a tough guy on your fucking stupid little bike, but you're a short little fucking pussy, right? And you don't want to fuck with a guy like me, a surfer.
Oh my
that
God.
lives in this
Surfer?
fucking town.
He's a
Puts up with
surfer?
your fucking shit all the time.
He's a surfer.
Wow.
Wow, that's scary. You're a surfer.
That guy has some serious personal issues.
Yeah.
It's not even the guy with the bike. It's a million other issues in his life that he wants to punch in the mouth.
Well, I don't know. I just like he seems altered. But what?
Yeah,
what,
he does.
yeah.
His voice keeps cracking strangely.
Something's up. But where is this, or when was this, Nadav?
I think this might have been like 3 or 4 years ago. Some beach community. I think I remember it being like.
Well, he's a
Huntington.
surfer, Nadav.
No,
Come on.
he's a surfer. Yeah, he's definitely a surfer, and he
Cholo.
doesn't like.
Yeah, what's he
shoobies.
doing on that strip of Western? Where El Cholo, there's no surfing around there. I mean,
Is it that El Cholo? Is another El Cholo?
maybe there's
yeah.
is there another?
There's a few of them
probably-
around.
There are a few.
Particularly back then.
Okay.
Must have been the Huntington Beach having El Cholo. Look that up.
Oh, maybe it's Huntington Beach.
Researchers.
Shero, see that symbol right there? 6RUA223.
This? See this?
See that
this
symbol?
means you're a fucking dead man walking. You come onto my fucking land, okay? You're a fucking dead man.
I would argue that when you threaten somebody with death, that you're in trouble.
Yeah,
You
I
feel
think
threatened.
we kind of crossed the line there.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's calling that neighborhood his land.
Oh, he
or
is.
If he's kind of going, don't come to my house.
Is that
Like
New-
this guy's gonna bike around on his lawn for a while.
I think that's Newport Boulevard is what that is.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Anyway, well, good times. He's a surfer.
Yeah,
He looks like one. Not.
so you wouldn't find any. That's it's like, come on, what are you surfing, man?
I don't know.
Do you want to take a look at your next favorite
I
person?
want to first get an email in here. I'm
Okay.
married in 2 weeks. My wife and I are both 27-year-old virgins, very nervous about having her first orgasm. She's had a bit of fear, which led to such a lengthy time without even masturbating. I have masturbated plenty, but I just don't like people in general. That's quite a sentence. Here's the
Wow,
sentence.
that ended strange.
I have masturbated plenty, but just don't like people in general.
Huh?
That is the strangest sentence I've ever read.
Is that a truncated version of I don't like the touch of another person's
Maybe
body?
why he masturbates so much. That was that good call. How do I ease her nerves? What do I do if she has a fibrous hymen or something like that? Shut up.
Jesus.
Is there anything else to expect on this first night? How do I
I don't
help
know
her
what
get
that
the most-
is.
Fibrous hymen is a hymen that needs to be actually ruptured by a doctor.
Oh,
It won't
boy.
break with the. And by the age of 27, she probably doesn't really have a hymen, really.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah,
it's,
at
I
20.
feel like it's
It's a younger thing.
yeah.
And here's the good news for your wife. Not going to have an orgasm first time out.
Hey,
Good
pressure's
news.
off, pal.
Pressure's off. It's not going to happen.
Yep.
So maybe what you ought to work on is figuring out how you're going to give her first orgasm. I think
Yeah,
it's a
and
better
work
use of
toward
her
it
time.
together. You're both virgins.
Yeah, there you
It'd
go.
be amazing if he was like, I just want to write to see, will she be able to handle the thunderous orgasm she's going to have with me?
I would say just don't worry about any of that and worry
No.
about making her feel safe and comfortable and have a nice time.
I would add that advice to any guy.
Yes.
Take the pressure off
Yes.
right now.
It's good advice.
Yeah.
Hey, let's take a little break so I can tell you about our friends at Embark. That's our first sponsor. Very exciting product. First of all, it's a genetic test for your dog, so you can provide your dog his or her best possible life and health. It's a great idea. I routinely recommend genetic tests for humans so we can see what their genetic potential risks are so we know how to screen for things. Dogs are no different. Plus, you can find out what exactly breed your dog is and what their background is. It's like an ancestry for your dog as well. And it's easy. You just swab the dog and it's just like the spit test for humans, very similar. And if you want to know what your dog is at risk for, there's over 170 genetic health conditions that are screened for. And you want to enhance your dog's quality of life. We have 2 dogs at home. They are very important to us. And this genetic testing has been very, very helpful. And they're very different breeds. One's a mixed. And over 50% of dogs are at risk of carrying certain genetic diseases. And this panel of tests screens over, as I said, 170 genetic disorders, which are present in many diseases. And you can prepare for them and screen for them. And if some symptoms develop, you kind of know what they're likely to be developing if you have this genetic screen at hand. Embark is the only company with the stellar customer performance, vets and veterinary geneticists on staff and on hand to go over the results with you. #1 highest rated by customers, developed by PhDs and veterinarians for your dogs. It's a great product. Embark has an exclusive holiday offer you can't get anywhere else. Go to Embark Vet, that's EMBARKVET.com, embarkvet.com. Go now and use promo code DREW and you'll save 15% off your dog's DNA test kit. Again, embarkvet.com, promo code DREW to save, not Dr. Drew, just Drew. And look, if you care about your dogs the way we all do, you'll be glad you did this. Our next sponsor is our friends at Vincero Watches. I love these guys. I was not a watch guy because I always feel like they're such a waste of money and they're beautiful, but you have to pay so much. Now with Vincero, it's affordable and I love them. Go to vincerowatches.com. It's VINCERO watches.com/Dr. Drew, DRDREW. Use promo code Dr. Drew. Exceptionally crafted watches, fair price. I mean, really, these things are beautiful. Meticulous quality control. Emphasis on quality that helps them set themselves apart from their competition. You're not going to find a better made watch for a good price anywhere. This is high value. They have 6 collections for men and women, 6 collections for men, 4 for women, each handcrafted. All watch straps are interchangeable. You can find the one you like. It's great. And they offer free worldwide shipping. They have over 18,000 5-star reviews. Check them out. They're crafted to elevate your game. They give you confidence if you want. These make great gifts. They make great, and by the way, they're so affordable you could get multiple watches. They have a style that ranges from dress watch to sport watches to casual watches. So, no matter what your style is, you'll find a watch for you. For young professionals or anyone on the hunt for an affordable, beautiful watch, this is out there for you. It is Vincero watches. There's, I can't say enough about these guys. I wasn't wearing watches before, and now I'm wearing them. I have 2 of their watches because one of them my son ripped off. He liked it so much. I'm not kidding. And look at them. And then the price is just right. As I said before, 15% off if you go to vincerowatches.com. Again, it's VINCERO watches.com/Dr. Drew. The Dr. Drew is one word, DRDREW. Use code Dr. Drew, and you'll be glad you did. So have at it, guys. Go to vincerowatches.com/Dr. Drew. And now let's get back to the show. When I was around 8, another kid threw a wooden sword at my face, causing a 1-inch scar under my eye. 4 stitches. I had a shield, but was too low. He has to tell us he had a shield. Yes. He was 8. Oh my God, that's funny. I'm now 30, and last year the scar has begun to itch like crazy. Reason, risk, solution. I've got a few scars from that age, and this is the only one having that issue. Hard to know. We have to look at it to see what's going on. I mean, I would, it's irritation is what itching is. Something's causing some irritation. Maybe the scar is sort of hypertrophying for some reason. Maybe as your face starts to fall. He's only 30. I don't know, but you might want to try some hydrocortisone cream. That kind of helps that kind of thing. Let's see our next favorite person, shall we?
All right, so this was a senior citizen that we covered, I want to say 3 or 4 years ago. Mm-hmm. She's just working hard for the money.
Oh, boy.
Hello, sweetie pie. Hey, baby. Fuck you.
What?
Hi, it's me. I'm getting ready to log in. Okay, thanks. Where you calling from, bitch? Now listen, bitch. Are you touching that dick right now? Don't touch that fucking cock and tell me it's not a fucking cock anymore. Now it's a clit, see? And your goddamn motherfucking asshole is your pussy. And I'm gonna take this goddamn motherfucking dick and I'm gonna ram it straight up your goddamn motherfucking pussy like there's no fucking tomorrow.
Oh,
wow. I think Matt's in love.
This is great.
I love the super thick glasses. That's something. Somehow that adds something special to this.
I love her work chair.
I love it.
She got there and she locked and loaded with everything, and she's just sitting in her saddle right there.
And this looks like it was back from the days when phone sex was a more common thing.
Yes.
I think the internet kind of took over for this stuff.
Yeah.
But it's interesting how she's so confident in her role as
yeah.
She knows what she has to say is going to stimulate the guy. So
yeah, she's a pro.
Let's have.
I felt I did not. I mean, this is kind of like the old misdirection, the old switcheroo for me, because I was expecting her to be just the typical. Oh yeah. Oh,
yes. Right.
I've never felt it so good. You're touching all of my spots.
Right.
All this stuff. But it was just hey bitch. You're touching that dick, bitch.
Your penis is so small it's a clitoris. Is that what that?
Yeah, she feminized him.
Let's hear a little more of her shtick.
Yeah,
I will say that she does have a range. This is just one character.
Oh, wow. Let's see some more range.
Very cool.
Would you like that goddamn motherfucking shit?
What's she doing? Puzzle.
I'll tell you one thing for goddamn motherfucking sure, bitch. If you don't like that goddamn motherfucking shit, bitch, you don't like a fucking thing. Because I will have you suck this dick.
All right.
8 inches long? Oh my God.
Knitting.
Oh, I'd be afraid to touch something like that. Oh, no, I don't think I should touch it.
Who was filming this thing?
I touch it when I take a bath and a shower, and that's about it. I don't know.
Knitting.
I even had my finger in it before.
Rocking. Knitting in a rocking chair.
Just getting in character.
You don't mean my back door, do you?
Oh, but she's playing a little girl, which is what's gross. Oh my God.
Yeah. He's right. She has some serious range.
Is there more?
Yeah, there's a lot.
Oh no.
I'll tell you one thing for sure, baby. I wish you were here right now so you could see me play with my big fat pussy lips. This movie's getting me all wet. These pussy juice is dripping down my fucking legs.
How old is this woman? What's your guess?
I'm going to say
68?
I would say
Later?
I would say no. I would say she's probably. I would say 50s. I would. Well, because it's like I feel like this is an old recording. Yeah, older.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little old.
Yeah, at least 90s, if not 80s.
Yeah.
That sounds right.
I think
Right.
that's
So I think it's kind of like, look, someone put a picture of the traveling Wilburys up, and they're like, some of them are in their late 30s, and I was like,
Yeah.
I cannot believe this.
Yeah,
Like, it's
we need
insane.
to.
feel
Much like we tracked down Robert Champagne, we must track her down.
Yeah, oh, you need this
We
woman
need
on
to
your
see-
show.
We need to see where she is.
Oh
now.
yeah, baby. I've been caught playing with
Oh.
my pussy lots of times.
She's on the toilet.
You like to fuck Asian pussy too in the asshole?
No.
My name is Monisha Manera, baby.
No.
And I like
What?
to play with my pussy really hard.
She's having diarrhea.
Well, she's doing a horrible Asian accent. I mean, it would be more disturbing if it was a really good Asian accent.
She's
But-
expressing her racism while she has diarrhea.
Oh my God.
It's too much.
It's
too
funny,
much.
and she probably isn't even racist. It's just she's just playing to the market. That's what this guy wants. Oh my
And
goodness.
you're gonna drink all that goddamn motherfucking cum straight out of your goddamn motherfucking. Oh my, you're gonna drink all that cream and all that fucking chocolate together, bitch. You're gonna suck on my fucking nasty balls, and you're gonna suck on my goddamn motherfucking nasty asshole too,
She's
bitch.
playing a man now?
I can't tell if this is a dom thing where a woman just
Some of it is.
degrades you as
Oh,
much
I
as
see.
possible
I see,
as
yeah.
a woman, but as a man, or
Well,
if this
some of
guy
it.
is like, look, I'm gonna buy the fantasy. It's a high-voiced man, and I'm sucking his balls. You know.
Wow.
This is incredible. Like this, someone should make a movie about this woman.
And I bet she made a bunch of money doing this too. It's why she can't waste her time.
No, she can't. She
has to double task,
Yeah,
dual
she's,
task.
She's
all
like Gordon Gekko in The Office, just constantly on the phone,
right.
well, no matter what he's doing. Oh, it's amazing.
I got a pussy for you right now. Yeah. I want you to put your dick up my asshole. Because I'm a
I think
hot
she,
bitch.
in a weird, one of the things that's disturbing about this, it seems like she, I wouldn't say enjoys, but likes these guys, likes what she's doing.
I probably just likes the human interaction in a
Yes.
way, like elderly people
But
that live alone and
no
keep-
sense of disgust or
No, nothing.
hesitation. With
Not
Oh
holding
yeah, I
back.
do, baby.
Oh, what is she?
yeah.
She's reading?
Oh no, black men don't have any bigger dicks than white men. The only difference is the goddamn motherfucking color, baby. I can promise you that fucking shit.
Oh, is she trying to play a black woman there now?
I can't.
So wait, this old white woman
With
can
the
be
thick
a
glasses.
black woman on the phone with a man and read what's that? Dostoevsky?
It looks like Brothers Karamazov. It
Is that what
does.
that is? Yeah.
Yeah. And so I think we have to, for people who are just listening to the podcast, we have to flush this out for you because what we're looking at is too much. It's too much to be believed.
It's a lot.
It's a woman that may be in her 50s, but she looks like she's in her 70s.
Yes.
She's wearing a headset, looks like an air traffic controller, a headset. In her bathtub, nude, or on the toilet shitting.
Yes.
Or doing crossword puzzles or cleaning trash.
No shoes, light shorts, a
If
tank
she's
top,
wearing anything.
glasses that might
Thick.
make Elton John go, no, that's too much.
Yeah.
Dark,
Yeah.
like tinted, large.
Tinted, but her eyes look about 40 times bigger than
Yes.
they are because they're so thick.
Uh-huh.
And dyed brown hair.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
pulled back, dyed, like Clairol bottle just emptied on her head.
Yep. In just a normal one-bedroom house or apartment.
I mean, it's this is like albino white trash.
Yeah, this is
zone.
bad.
I mean, it's
This is pretty
but Let's
bad.
be fair. And then talking this smack to all these dudes.
Oh, I'm finger fucking it really hard for you, honey.
She's reading Charles
this
Darwin.
Big black
That's right.
pussy's gonna be fucking you.
She's reading
you
the-
can put your fucking tongue up inside of it too, baby.
The Origin of the Species.
No. This is the trip of the Beagle. This is when he was out on the ship. See the ship on the side?
Yeah.
It's the, what do they call it? The
Oh,
trip-
yeah. Oh, okay. Yes.
It hasn't. Some. You guys could look this up for us.
It looks like it says the origin. No.
I think it's the trip.
Yeah, it's the yes.
Trip
where-
of the Beagle or whatever it's called.
But she can follow.
It could be Origin of Species.
I think you're right though, because it looks like there's a ship on there.
Yep.
What was that one called?
The Beagle. It was the Beagle.
It was the Beagle. Okay.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I can't. It's like I can't listen to a podcast and read a book at the same time. I can't imagine if a guy's like, "Oh, I'm grabbing your ass. I'm fucking you right now."
Wait,
like,
look.
and
What
trying
is
to
that?
keep him on the hook.
What is that behind her? Her right side of her head. Is that a lamp, or is that a
No, that's just
cord, electrical cord that
There's
she
a
has
charger.
next to her
No, I
bathtub?
think that's just a bar of soap on a dish.
Okay, yes, I think you're
Oh
right.
yeah, that's
Okay.
caulking behind
It looks
not
like
a wire.
the
Yes.
plug-in module for an Apple MacBook, but this is from
What's extra
93 or
What's extra
something.
interesting is that caulking, that thick caulking that we thought was a wire
Yeah.
that extends down to the left. There's none of that over on the right.
Nope,
it's just
that's
wall.
black.
The wall's open
Well,
on the right.
Is that yes, or is that black mold?
I
I
think
can't
it's just
tell.
an open wall.
Okay.
But okay, because he's over on the left. See how it's open wall there too?
Well, they say if you're gonna have an open wall, have it right next to a place that'll have a large body of water.
Of
that can
course,
just
this is how you do
slosh
this.
into the hole and
Does it keep
cause
going?
rot.
That was the last clip.
All right. That's a relief.
It
Well,
is.
Do we know her name? Do we know anything about her? Have you guys done any research?
No, just phone sex grandma is.
Oh, you know, this one you have to research.
Wow.
This is
come
from
on
so
now.
long.
Yeah, I mean, I bet she's still around and is mad that industry collapsed.
Too bad for her. What's she doing now is the question. Don't worry. All right, we got any voicemails?
Yes, we do.
Just so happens. How about that?
Hey, Dr. Drew. So I think I have intimacy issues. Sex kind of scares me. I don't know why. I was only molested slightly when I was 7. Anyway, I'm 20 and haven't been kissed yet. So what do you think? Should I just kill myself? All right, piss on me, beat me. Thanks.
Wow. This is the mommy fans.
Yeah, yeah.
I like the
know.
way she's like, I was only molested lightly, but I don't understand why I have
A mild level.
Yeah, why would I have intimacy problems?
Wow.
So we need to know a little more to know what's going on. But one of the things that is sort of the way I suggest people approach something like this is find somebody you're interested in, take yourself by the hand, and go on a date, and see if you can make out with that person. See if you can do it. They'll be happy to participate if it's somebody you're attracted to. They'd be delighted to be, and explain what's going on the whole way. So and make sure it's somebody that's willing to take this on. Not somebody going to be angry with you or they're rejecting or anything. And just see if you can do it. If you can't do it, I mean, you literally can't do it, then you need professional help. When you really can't function, you need to see a therapist. You need to see a mental health professional. But take it out and see if you can do something and see how that makes you feel. Try it out.
Yeah,
Try it.
don't overthink it, and don't kick your own ass for the situation that you genuinely feel.
Finally, the try it out moniker has real meaning here in this show.
There you go.
Try it
Maybe
out.
not the piss on me, beat me.
No, maybe not that. Try it out. What else we got?
Hey, Dr. Drew. My name is River. I live in northern Indiana, and I was just listening to your most recent episode, and I heard you mention something about picking. I don't remember the context, but I have a compulsive desire to pick any scab on myself and on other people. I know it's super disgusting, but it's so much a compulsion. I can't stop myself. If I have a scab, I have to pick it, and if I see it on someone else, it's like an obsession. My mom used to pick my scabs when I was young. What is that? Is it because my mom used to pick my scabs? I don't know. Help me out.
Or is there some genetic link there that scab picking? I don't know. I'm sure I would love to look this up online to see if there's such a name for scab picking compulsion. I'm
Yeah,
sure
there
there's a
has
name
to
for
be.
everything. It is an obsession. It is literally obsessive compulsive disorder. Thank you guys for getting on that. Compulsion. Yeah. Oh, here we go. It's dermatillomania, which is just picking at your skin. So it goes under the general picker syndrome or skin picking. Scabs are one of the things that are on the list here with dermatillomania. And you've heard of trichotillomania, which is pulling hair, which is a more common thing. It can be anywhere. It can be eyelashes, eyebrows, hair in your head. And these are all actually difficult to treat disorders, interestingly. They don't respond very well to medication. They are obsessive compulsive disorders.
Yeah.
If you are using medication to treat them, oftentimes you have to use a very high dose. Like for the trichotillomania, we'll try high dose of Prozac. And it doesn't work for a while. If it's going to work, most people with trichotillomania just live with it and sort of learn how to sort of moderate it. I'm imagining, I don't know for sure, but I'm guessing the same is true with dermatillomania, which is what you have. as long as you're not, what I was talking about, I remember on a previous podcast, was what methamphetamine makes you do, which is you believe there's something, you have something called formication, which is a different thing. You believe there's something under your skin, you start picking at it.
Yeah.
And then you cause the scabs and you keep picking, trying to get whatever the delusion is that you have about what's under your skin. You've seen people do that?
Yeah. Well, and I'm familiar with that that addiction and just how it's
the picking syndrome.
You in any case, whether you're talking about the meth addiction or that the
straight dermatillomania.
It's you're turning on yourself.
Yeah,
you're attacking yourself.
But dermatillomania, it's a just strict compulsion to pick at these things. With meth, it's a delusion that there's something under there that you're going after.
Gosh.
Yeah, and it's just, and they get on their face, they pick. It's just woo.
Yeah, bad.
And that's real rough. That's rough. I'm sorry you're dealing with that. You might look at the trichotillomania literature or sort of the stuff that's online. People support each other. There's societies. They get support from other people, and they have lots of different tricks up their sleeves in terms of things you could try. But I'm not sure of any, really super effective, easy treatment. So, all right, what else you got? Good call.
Hey, Dr. Drew. My name is Mike from Pittsburgh. I just had a quick question about a shooting pain in my left arm. It only happens maybe once every other month. It feels like it's inside the bone. My doctor told me to point to where the pain came from, and that's the best I can come up with. It feels like it's central. I don't like to think of myself as a hypochondriac, but I feel like it's what people feel when they're having a heart attack, and I'm worried that I might be having mini heart attacks once every other month. Doctor hasn't been able to tell me anything about what it might be because it's never happening while I'm there. Any information would be greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.
You got it. So it's not many heart attacks. It could be something called angina pectoris, which means that the blood is getting restricted to your heart. You're not actually getting a heart attack where the muscle dies. It's probably not that, though, and it's easy to rule out. Get a stress echo or just even a plain stress test, and that will rule that out, and you can forget about it. What I worry about are the way you call it so central in the bone. There are things that can grow in your bones that can create kind of funny pains like that. Now, the fact that it's been going on so long without progressing actually makes me not so worried. However, I would at least get an x-ray of that region, and I would get the treadmill just because you feel pretty stupid if you were having a heart problem and you didn't test for it.
Sure.
But I'm feeling more like it's something in the bone. And there are things that can grow in the bone that are worrisome that you would want to know about as soon as possible. So just check it out just to make sure.
And it's constant with that guy, off like twice a month or something.
Every 6 weeks, did you say? Something? That's what I was thinking in my head. But it's not progressing, which is good. That's a good thing. Here's an email. I'm 33, coming out of a long-term relationship. During that relationship and now with others, I've had a hard time maintaining an erection during sex. I can maintain during oral, but takes forever to finish. Am I having a mental block? Well, there's interesting versions of this. This is called delayed ejaculation, or some people call it, the British call it, I think, retarded ejaculation, because it doesn't occur. That's what they call it. And it's a very difficult problem. Guys that have that, like a lot of people joke about it. Oh, you get to go as long as you want. It's a difficult problem. And usually what men have to do is stimulate themselves until they're just there and then finish with their partner. So you have to the important thing is to work with a partner on this. And it sounds like you're out of a long-term relationship, but in the relationship, you kind of want to work it out with the individual you're with.
Yeah, I find that anything sexual, the more communication you engage in, the better.
You work it out as a couple, not as somebody just trying to perform by yourself.
And it's a guy, so he probably doesn't share very much. And it's
right.
Like, I can deal with this on my own.
Sometimes the psychology behind this is a retaining, of holding back, and so you don't want to be. You feeling like you're too close and open or exposed in some way. You let go, so to speak. But sometimes it's just biology. It really is. Well, let's see. Let me try to find some other. Do we have any other voicemails while I'm looking around for?
We sure do.
Let's get to that.
Hey, Dr. Drew. My name is Royce. I broke up with my girlfriend about 2 weeks ago, and we lived together. She moved out, and since then I've been with 3 girls, and then decided to get sober 3 days ago.
Yeah.
My question is if I should abstain from sex with one or more of these girls that I've been having sex with while I'm getting sober, or should I have a good time and be sober while I'm doing so? So let me know.
Yeah.
Thanks for everything. Keep them high and tight.
Yeah, that's kind of a weird question. I mean, I don't mean weird, I mean difficult. In that I'm sure you've heard, as you're struggling with the sobriety, no new relationships, right? That doesn't mean you can't date or hang out, or even some people have sex. It means don't get in a relationship, because really our craziness as people always comes out when we're in relationships, and when you're trying to grow and change, relationships kind of hold you where you were. It's a connection, and you're trying to grow, and this person's trying to stay in the relationship. It doesn't let you grow, so you want to not get in a relationship. I'm imagining that you use sex like drugs in terms of sort of managing your emotions and stuff. So probably best to do nothing for at least a few months, 2-3 months, while you get through the withdrawal and see where your mood's at, see what comes up as a result of abstaining from not just sex, but the drugs, of course, and dealing with those emotions. Because having feelings for the first time is sort of, for the first time in a long time, is really a big part of early sobriety. So.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds to me like it's not that big of a deal to him. It sounds like the big deal to him is his sobriety. Hence his
That's
call.
a much bigger.
So
important.
it's kind of
much more important.
He's focused on that, which is good. It's not like he's as if I really, really want to sleep with them again or be with them again. It's kind of like,
his head's in the right place.
Yeah,
I agree with that. Love the show. I have a problem when I have a bad headaches and massive anxiety attacks. I get headaches and anxiety attacks when I headbang. I play in a band. I find that when I get into a song and play and start headbanging, it feels like my brain is rolling out of my skull. It is. It gives me a headache and severe anxiety attacks. Since realizing that happens, I've toned it down a lot. Great. But I want to know if I should be worried. Yeah, I mean, just in the sense that you can get what's called a counter coup injury. The way some of the surgeons will describe it is like if you have a pickle floating in a pickle jar, you shake the jar.
Oh, yeah.
The pickle's hitting. That's what your brain does.
Oh, wow.
And yes, it can hurt things at the little mini concussions. That's how you get chronic traumatic encephalopathy. That's what they worry about with the NFL.
Right, yeah.
So, I wouldn't do that.
That's crazy.
You get headaches afterwards, which is sort of a post-concussive thing. All right, voice message. I'm loving these voice messages.
Hey, Dr. Drew. This is Jessica. I'm 30 years old. I was calling because I have been hospitalized for chronic pancreatitis 3 times in my life, but the last time was 2012, and
good.
Since then I no longer drink.
Good.
But I was wondering if that will lead to an increased chance of me having pancreatic cancer later in life. Love your show. Thank you. Bye.
I'm wondering if you actually have chronic pancreatitis, because if you had true chronic pancreatitis, you'd still have a lot of abdominal pain, right? That's the sort of the feature of chronic pancreatitis. Your pancreas obviously creates it creates the insulin and the glucagon, but it also creates the digestive enzymes that go into your small bowel.
Okay.
And when you drink a lot, or if you get a stone in that region, essentially the cells, the ducts and cells in the pancreas become inflamed.
Oh.
Some of those enzymatic juices actually leak into the cells. The pancreas sort of digests itself.
Oh, wow.
That's kind of what pancreatitis is, a huge inflammatory reaction. And alcohol is one of the easy ways to trigger that.
Yeah.
And if it's ongoing and never goes away, it just sort of waxes and wanes. We call that chronic pancreatitis.
Yeah.
But true chronic pancreatitis usually continues after you stop drinking.
Okay.
So the fact that she stops suggests more that she had like recurrent attacks of acute pancreatitis, which are very dangerous and very serious, and do, I think, if I remember right, increase some risk of pancreatic cancer, but it's not a big deal. That's not the big deal. The big deal is not developing chronic pancreatitis, which is a mess.
Okay.
All right. Oh, you got one more for me? He's working away there. Last one.
Hey, Dr. Drew, big fan of the show. Me and my girlfriend have been dating about a year now, and she just got into her PhD program at Madison here in Wisconsin, studying neuroscience.
Nice.
And she does this thing where she analyzes everything. I know that's why she's so good at school, but she analyzes every little thing that we don't agree on. She wants to figure it out. And sometimes it just gets frustrating and overbearing sometimes. It could be as small as why I like a TV show and she doesn't. Is there anything I can bring up to her or discuss or anything with her?
That's an interesting question.
Yeah.
Because I like that she analyzes everything. I
Sure.
mean, that's a strength. One of my instincts is like, hey, get some scientific training or maybe some engineering training, and you'll start to think that way too.
Yeah.
But the fact that she doesn't pick up on what it's doing to their relationship is a little bothersome.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's sometimes the problem with like the people that like throw that term around, like facts don't care about your feelings, where it's like, oh god,
Yeah.
you know, like yeah, okay, but what an esoteric concept, and and second, you should be able to roll with whatever the other person wants for their comfort zone. So if no one likes to be just broken down and analyzed.
Well, and if you have to have an argument over everything and then win, what I always tell people is the relationship loses.
Yeah.
When there's a winner, the relationship loses.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if it's just an exercise for you, you like analyzing, understanding things, tone it down. Tone it down a bit. We get it. You're a neuroscientist. It's great. I actually like it. And it's like I said, one of my instincts is tell him to get some training to make him more like you.
Sure.
But I don't think that's very realistic. And by the way, 2 of you would drive the 2 of you crazy.
Yeah.
It'd be too much. It'd be too much. So enjoy what your boyfriend has to offer and maybe just tone it down a little bit. So and he's got to be a little clearer about what it is, what that does to him, and maybe have a little bit of some sort of a phrase they could use or something to let her know she's doing that again and sort of trigger.
Yeah, code.
You're married now? Is that what you told me? How long have you been married?
About 2 years.
And everything going good?
Great. I love it. Yeah.
Were you any surprises with marriage?
Just that I was ready for things to be harder than they are. And I think it's just, I've kind of just been ready to be in this for longer than I've realized. And I think, one thing a lot of guys, and I certainly didn't realize, was like it's half love and half choice. So you kind of, it has to be someone you obviously love, but also you have to kind of throw yourself. There's an element of, I think of Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, and the last where he's crossing that thing, and it's a leap of faith, but there's no bridge, but he puts his foot out anyway and steps, and it steps. It's like that.
Yeah, it's a leap of faith, and then it has to be. You've got to be willing to just commit.
Yeah,
just keep working on it.
To commit to a gamble. Yeah. But it's paid off. It's been great.
Were you surprised how good it's been?
I don't. I think so, but
that's kind of my feeling. But I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
I thought it was you get married then you die.
Right.
Like, no, there's something in between. It's kind of fun.
I mean, I've like gotten in better shape, and it's I've been the opposite of the stereotype of the.
You gonna have kids?
I'm done. No, we're I'll say in talks now. But
Ooh.
so we want one. We want just one, but
You're gonna do it again? Have a single child?
But look, I was voting for 2, and she's like, I just want one. Right, so yeah, if it was just me going for the 1, that'd be a little
just after today's conversation.
Absolutely,
I'd wonder.
Yeah, I want another me, just like me.
Matt, give us the plugs again.
Oh, I have a podcast which you are more than welcome to come on. You'd be a valued guest.
Wonderful.
Called Advice from a Dipshit with Matt Braunger, where
fantastic.
It's similar to this, but I basically people just bank recordings. They call this number and just leave.
Unlike what we've been doing.
Well, I guess it's the same, but it's the same. What am I saying? But we don't read. But it's anyway. I am not a clinician.
What?
I know. You think all this scientific mumbo jumbo is spouting that you didn't understand when I was saying it. But no, yeah, it's much more. I draw from my own mistakes because I get a lot of younger callers. I get people that overthink things and worry about FOMO and people that are fresh out of the military. I don't know what to do with my life. I feel like my life is over. Or it's like, no, it's not. I always say, Rodney Dangerfield didn't start doing stand-up till he was 40 years old. Wow. And that's just one example of how
somebody always a friend of mine always says to me, Warren Buffett didn't start really making money till he was 60.
Yeah, see,
now he's got $40 billion or something.
He's doing all right. Last I checked, but yeah, it's kind of mine's a little more tongue-in-cheek and wackadoo, but I treat every caller completely sincerely.
That's nice.
I'm not giving them advice on how to be a dipshit. I'm giving them advice on a
dipshit.
Learn from me.
A dipshit.
Learn from what I would have done and don't do it when I was your age, kind of thing. But
that sounds cool.
Thanks.
And for me, check out the website DRDREW.com. Everything's there. The whole family of podcasts. New studio for This Life You Live. Got a Stitcher thing coming out. Keep an eye out for that. Or Twitch. No, Twitch.
Okay.
Wait, what's the platform? With the gaming, Twitch. Right?
Twitch. Yeah,
that's got something coming out there. Check that out. It's coming out in a couple of weeks, probably, or it might be out now by the time we air this podcast. And Matt, thank you very much for coming.
Thanks for having me.
It was really fun, and we'll see you all next time.
All right.
All conversations and information exchanged during participation in the Dr. Drew After Dark podcast or interaction on the DRDREW.com website is intended for educational and entertainment purposes only. Do not confuse this with treatment or physician medical advice or direction per se. You must always follow your medical professional's advice and direction. Nothing on these podcasts or posted on this site supplements or supersedes the relationship and direction of your medical caretakers. Please understand, I am not playing the role of physician in this environment per se. I'm educating. I am a licensed physician with specialty boards in American Board of Internal Medicine and American Board of Addiction Medicine.